I've actually been trying to take advantage of the time that's been newly available to me because of this. Um, my mom always tells me like look on the brighter side of situations, and because this is such like a like everybody's affected by this, I've been trying to be like, okay, what can I do? If it's a negative situation, what can I make positive out of it? So I've
Hmm.
just been like trying to use this time basically to like for self improvement. And I always say, what would I do if I had time? Or I would do that if I had time. But then now I have time, so I basically have no excuse to not do the things that I always said I wanted to do.
I
So
love that. And that's so true cuz most of
yeah.
the time that's our excuse.
Yeah,
Our
exactly.
excuse is time. Well, actually what's interesting is yes, because schedules have been disrupted and things
Mhm,
are different, it is there is more available time in some areas. For
mhm.
example, like school sometimes was like 8 hours, and now that it's online, it could be probably like 3, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But other than that, what's interesting about this is time actually has always been there. All this
Mhm,
time has always been there. So
yeah.
it's a matter of like figuring out for you what in your life do you want to focus on. So I'm
Mhm.
curious, you say, I have more time now to start doing some of the things I want to do and getting after that. What are those things?
So I am like really thankful that school is going to be moved online, because that's something I was actually like looking to do before this whole thing happened, like going full online.
Mm.
So I was like, oh, great. I can do anything I want now. So I like any artistic outlet, like anything, whether it's painting or singing. I can't sing at all, but I love it. Like it's so much fun. Or acting or like dancing. I can't dance, but it's so much fun. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's not about like, I don't do these things because I want to be like good or anything, but they bring me so much joy. So like, my mom actually cleaned out the garage that's right next to my room and turned it into like a painting room for me. So I have like a couch in there now, and like I just sit in there, like literally like for hours, and I just paint and paint because I love painting, and I didn't have time for. And I'd always say, oh, this summer, and so like now I just like am nonstop. Like I'm like going through canvases. I'm like, do you want me to paint you something? Do you want me to paint you something? Or like that's just something that I've like wanted to do, and I'm like, okay, I can do it now.
Absolutely. And you know what's cool is when you talk about painting, your eyes light up. When you talk about dance and these other, like they do, they because they're things you
Mhm,
love. But especially when you started talking about the painting, your
mhm.
eyes changed.
Yeah.
Your whole energy as a person changed. And
Mhm,
and so what I want you to realize is this quarantine is gonna end.
mhm.
It's gonna end. So
Yeah.
whether you decide to go online afterwards, stay online, like whatever, it's gonna end, and then life's gonna start getting busy again in some of the ways it was before.
Yeah, exactly.
When that's the case, it's about you realizing how important this thing was to you.
Mhm.
It's about going, oh, wow, I thought I liked painting a lot, but after spending so much time in the garage where hours just passed by, and
Exactly. Yeah.
how do I not do that? I need to make
Mhm.
sure that when things
Yeah.
get back to that regular schedule that I do not allow myself to not paint.
Yeah. Cause I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to paint. And then I'm in there until the sun sets and it's dark. And I'm like, okay, I want to go to sleep so I can wake up and I can do it again. I'm like, so I definitely don't want to lose that in like a busy schedule once this whole thing is over.
And take away even don't want to, you can't. You can't.
Exactly. Hmm.
It's your lifeblood. And what's crazy is there are people all around the world who are dying to find that thing, to
Hmm.
figure out what it is. And you, at a very young age, are you 17?
Yes.
At 17, have already figured out the things that you love to do and want to do.
Hmm.
That's incredible.
I'm very happy that I that I have.
And you should be. So now you need to realize, because that's the case, wow, thank you, God, like
Hmm.
for showing me what it is that you want me to do, showing me my
Yeah.
passion, and now I'm not going to ever give up on that passion. Because there's no way in any world where if you're not painting, you're happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
It's
truly.
definitely it's like a stress reliever. Like I get super anxious. Like I'm just like an anxious person. And I'm like trying to not make that such a big part of me, I guess. So like I've been like working on like, okay, anytime I'm stressed or anxious, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go put it in a useful direction. So whether that's like working on the monologues we've done or, you know, painting or something, but like I want to put that like negative energy into something like positive, I guess.
I love that. Love that. It sounds like you're in a really great state. I can totally feel that over the over video. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I've definitely like, I feel like because it's such like, I know I don't want to say it's been like such a good like time because it's such like a bad like situation that like the world is in, you know, but like it's definitely like shown me like a lot of things. Like I personally, for me, like being away from school has been like the greatest blessing for me, just because like I get so anxious in those situations,
Hmm.
and I'm just like, and it's just not a good environment for me. Like I'm like so like tightly bound in those. So like now that I'm away from there and I don't have to like worry about like, oh my gosh, I have to go to class and I have to like be around people that I get anxious around and like stuff. I'm just like, oh, I can wake up and I have my day, because I enjoy school, but now I have the option to sit and do my school with my like with my family, or I can sit on the couch and do it by myself, or sit in my room, or like I don't have that like it's just taken so much like pressure off my shoulders.
Oh yeah, and this is
Mm-hmm.
gonna change the game. Let's make no
Yeah.
mistake here. Like schools and
Mm-hmm.
people are gonna realize, oh wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
How much more I got done, how much more I learned, and things are gonna change. Certain things will
Mm-hmm.
change.
Yeah.
And within that, like you starting to figure out some of that again, figures out how you sort of operate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. We talked about this in yesterday's episode. Basically, right now, yes, it is. It is terrible what's going on in the world. It's devastating. It's awful. But this world is a broken world.
Mm-hmm.
Bad things are going to happen, and they're never going to stop happening.
Absolutely.
Till the day we die, there will be both good and bad things happening every single day, and it's our decision whether or not we are going to choose to come in and accept the good things, find
Mm-hmm.
positivity, or just fall into the pit of darkness and all the bad things around us.
Yeah, it's so easy. Like, I mean, I know. I mean, I know it. I mean, it's so easy to just like latch onto the negative things and focus on it, and then you just let everything like positive just goes down the toilet because you're just ignoring it. Like that's something
Hmm.
that I'm personally working on, is like I can kind of be negative sometimes. Like not like negative like, oh, like, but like with myself I'm like, oh no, you can't do that, or no this, or no this. But like it's such a changer, like positive reinforcement. Like, and for every negative thought, give yourself two positive thoughts, because that's like double. So
Yeah.
like if you're like, oh, I feel like I can't do that, then you're like, no, you can do that. Like you're worth that, like you're worthy, like you can do it. And so like that's something personally that helps me, because I'm like, I don't know why people get so down on themselves, but we still do it as
So,
a
so you
human.
said for every negative you put in two positives.
Yeah,
So
they like cancel out.
yeah, of course. When did you start doing
Mhm.
that?
I don't know, if I'm being honest. I saw it in a TikTok. Like some TikTok therapist was like, you know, like it's worth double the energy. Like, cause like I'm very into like your thoughts manifest your life. So like,
Absolutely.
so where if you're constantly thinking, oh, I can't do this, I'm negative, the your life is going to map out that way, because you're not taking any positive steps or believing in yourself. And if you're constantly negative, you're never going to, you know, you can't believe in yourself. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So
That's right.
something for me is like, if I'm gonna try to be motivated and do these things, I'm like, I have to be positive. I have to like love myself before I try to do anything else.
That's right. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
fill your bucket first before you can fill somebody
Exactly.
else's. And
Mm-hmm.
I love what you said there about TikTok too, because it's come up in the last two episodes on that.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's so easy right now to just start scrolling and going through stuff.
I love making videos.
But
Making videos is
yes,
so much fun.
exactly. We
Yeah.
talked about how making videos, and this is a time to build content and not just watch.
Mm-hmm.
But if we are watching, and this is something we haven't gotten to talk about yet, it's about being aware of what you're watching,
Mm-hmm.
because there are algorithms that send you what you watch,
And what you like, it
and
feeds you what
it
you
literally
feed.
feeds you what you like.
It's insane. It's, if you look at somebody's page for somebody else's, it's like it's completely like mine
Totally
is
different.
like inspiration and like nature, and my boyfriend's is like computers and like video games, and that's nothing like what's on mine.
Yep, it does an
Mhm.
algorithm that does that.
Yeah.
So if you are out seeking, and you just said you are, positivity, so this is a great message for everybody out there. If you're seeking positivity, then it's going to come to you. So in these apps and in these places, like if you're going down these negative routes and continuing to watch different videos about the virus news stuff and like all this negative stuff going on, guess what? Your feed is going to be filled with that.
Yeah, I've had to, like, personally, I get stuck down the news rabbit hole. Like I'll feed into it. I'm like, oh, this person and what news article, and like it's so entertaining. And then afterwards I'm like, oh, I just feel so like bad now. Like it's just junk. Like it's just all, like, it's obviously important to know what's going on in the world, but I feel like for me, I have to like make a point to like not give into that, like to like constantly be looking at it. Like I have to be like, okay, I know that this is bad. I know what I need to know, and I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, when it's important enough, you will know.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you won't have to find it on the internet if it's important.
You won't have to find it on the internet because you're gonna hear it from somebody. You're gonna get a text, like, But obviously with the virus, it's like that in a sense. But there are people. There's articles everywhere. I mean, you can get them everywhere, every single day. Just article. But if you actually just trust what is actually happening, is when there's something important going on, people talk. So you're going to hear about it. This happened when Kobe Bryant died. Everybody literally heard about it. So you didn't need to watch the news and be all over the place to know that happened. Yeah. When things happen, same with the virus. Like when things that are big happen, you hear about it. Yeah. So why seek after the negativity?
Exactly. Like that's the great point. Like why seek after it? That was just a great point.
Sure. So for you right now, going into sort of our towards the end here, what is going on with you that we can help out with?
So I know we're saying more self-improvement side, but how would you recommend like staying on like the acting game at home? Because I practiced like my monologues and stuff, but like I want to go deeper. Like I want to do more since I have so much more time.
So tell me about the type of practicing you're doing.
So it's funny. I actually got this sheet from my creative writing teacher. I think I've talked to you about her before because I use characters from acting in her class too. And it's a super deep, sorry, my dogs are here, a super deep sheet about just like it's kind of like the questionnaire in the Acting is My Day Job book. But it's just a bunch of different other questions, kind of a different variety. And I've been going and just doing a bunch of different of those. And when I get stuck on a question that I can't automatically fill in, like that's when I like, because I'm like, oh, okay, like this is where I get to like make her my own. So I'm still on Daenerys. I've like really, really been working on that character. So I'm like, oh, like what's her favorite food? I don't know. She lives in this random, like in this world. So I'm like, let me figure that out. Like what her character is. Why would she like that? Or like, who's her best friend? Well, I know this, but like, what about her childhood best friend? Like stuff like that, like writing it out and like, or like writing stories about it. Like it's just so much, like, cause you build that, like, it's like it's like when you read a book, like you build it as you go.
So basically you've been working super hard on building the backstory that is her to try and just understand her better as a character. That's awesome. Exactly. Totally awesome. Okay. So outside of the monologue, there's all kinds of stuff you're doing. So dealing with the time you're spending on it, are you like scheduling out that time? Or are you just kind of making sure you do it before you go to bed? Is like,
I'm kind of like go with the flow. Like I have a mental list of things I want to get done throughout a day, but I don't schedule them. So it's like, oh, I don't have to do anything till 3. So let's sit down and write for 2 hours. Like let's sit down, so I carve out the time for it, but as it comes naturally, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay, great. So with that, you're spending a lot of time with the backstory and practicing it. So here are some other things that you can be doing outside of just the monologue itself. Acting at its core is life. Yeah. We know this, right? So that's how we train people all over the world of different types that aren't actors, because acting really at its core is just listening. So one of the greatest things you can do right now is be building up your ability to listen and your emotional vocabulary.
Okay.
So one exercise would be literally like you're in school, study emotions. Study emotions, look them up, emotion verbs specifically, and start to find them, and then get up and pick up. It can be any line. It can be a line from your monologue. The words don't really matter. Hi, Bjorn. Hi. the words don't matter, but you take that and then whatever line you decide, you then go to mirror, camera, whatever, and you try and think in your mind a thought. You try and manifest it in your mind
with that emotion,
with whatever that emotion is.
Oh, I really like that.
And what you'll start to do is you're going to build up your ability to do different emotions, because a lot of us only play the ones that we're used to.
Yeah. I get stuck in anger and sadness. Like, that's where I get stuck in that.
Well, and
like,
I'll tell you, in anger and in sadness, there are hundreds of thousands of subcategories of those emotions, crossovers. So you start looking at one, and it's like, say, in sort of anger, like disdain, like if you look,
discontent, like,
yes, like just different types are going to have slightly different looks and thoughts to them. And so not only will you be building up your acting skills at home, you will also be building up your emotional vocabulary, and especially in this time, your ability to feel, to experience and try different things, you know?
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's where I would start. I would start by starting to do that, logging it, literally start to memorize new ones, put them in categories, like make it a really fun thing. And you could be doing that. If you did that from now until like literally forever, never stop. You just do one a day, or you could even do one every, like if you really wanted to work one, you could do one every 3 days or 4 days, whatever it ends up being. Your entire life would change, because you're going to notice emotions better. You're going to be able to put out emotions and let people know what you're feeling.
Understand how I'm feeling.
Exactly. Both through your feelings and through your vocabulary. So I think that would be absolutely great for you.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. And all right, to close us out, do you have any other questions or thoughts?
I think you've answered everything. You've given me lots of knowledge today.
Awesome. No, thank you. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate this opportunity.
Of course. The thing I want to end with here is I just want everybody to notice. I want everybody who's watching and paying attention and seeing this video to feel the energy that she is sending through the camera. There's so much positivity and joy that she's sending out, that you're sending out right now. We can feel it. Seriously, we can feel it. It's a decision. It's a choice. You got to wake up in the morning and you've got to decide, I want to be joyful today. I'm going to be joyful today, because everyone's in the same boat right now.
For sure.
Everybody. We're all in the same struggle. Everybody's being put back in their houses and having all these things happen. But the difference makers are the ones who just make a choice to be joyful, to choose that I'm going to do something with this time. While everybody else is sleeping, I'm going to level up.
Yeah.
And so if anybody can learn anything from watching today's, there were a lot of really cool lessons in there, but the biggest thing is she has made the choice clearly to start going after those things. And you all can do it too. So thank you. I very much appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will be back tomorrow, and thank you so much. I'm going to do my closing, and again, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate you. You guys are so awesome. We are up every day at 2 o'clock. The whole goal of this entire show is just to encourage teenagers. So sometimes that's through, like Isabel today, seeing somebody who is getting after their passion, who's making a decision that even through all this craziness, I'm going to do something I love. And so I hope that you would join us. Please like, subscribe, share these videos, and help us to keep building our mission to put out more light-driven content. Thank you so much, and God bless.